There's a moment you probably missed. When she laughed a little too long at your joke. When her eyes lingered just a second after the goodbye. You thought it was nothing. But here's the brutal truth. In that split second, she imagined an entire future with you. Not because of your looks, not because of your status, but because you unknowingly tapped into one of her deepest long-term fantasies. It's subtle, it's primal, and most men never realize they're doing it or missing it. Did you already? Do this without even knowing. If you've ever felt a strange, unexplainable pull from her, comment the last time you noticed it, or drop a if you want to unlock her hidden fantasies. Stay until the end for the ultimate twist. You probably never even realized it. But there's a moment, quiet, subtle, where everything changes. You're standing there, maybe at a party, or waiting for your coffee, and your eyes meet hers. She doesn't look away right away. In fact, her gaze lingers just a little too long. You probably thought she was just spacing out, distracted. But inside her mind, a spark flickered. It happens faster than you can blink. She's not thinking about your haircut or your clothes or how much money you make. She's wondering something entirely different. What would it feel like to be close to him? It's instinctive, hidden beneath layers of logic and social filters. And here's the craziest part. Most guys never notice when they've already flipped that switch. Picture this. You walk into the room. She glances at you. Then she freezes for just a second. Her breath catches, just slightly. She looks away, but not fast enough to hide it. That tiny pause? That wasn't an accident. That was her mind sprinting through possibilities. You think, maybe she's just shy. But inside her head, something ancient is unfolding. A hidden fantasy switch has been triggered. And no, it's not because you said the right thing or flexed your muscles. It's because of the way you held her gaze. Calm, steady, unhurried. As if you already knew something about her that she didn't even know herself. Most men will never even recognize this moment when it happens. They'll laugh it off, shrug, move on. But you're not most men. You're watching this because you're starting to see the layers beneath the surface. The quiet signals. The invisible threads pulling people together. And here's your first action step. Next time you catch her gaze lingering just a heartbeat longer than usual, don't look away. Don't rush it, hold it, even if it's just for a second. Notice how she reacts. Does she look down? Smile nervously? Does her breath change? That's the hidden fantasy switch in action. It's not about being aggressive or dominant. It's about being awake, aware, tapping into the unspoken tension that every woman, deep down, hopes to feel. Because here's the truth. Every woman carries hidden emotional fantasies. They aren't about fairy tales or grand gestures. They're about moments. Split seconds where she feels seen, wanted, understood. Without a single word being said, most guys miss it completely. But you just spotted it. And you'll start to see it everywhere. There's something ancient, something primal, buried deep inside every woman's mind. It isn't logical. It isn't something she consciously thinks about. But it's there, waiting for a spark. It's the protector instinct, the fantasy of safety. And most men have no idea how easily they can awaken it. Let's take a walk together. You're strolling down a crowded city street with her. The air is buzzing with noise, cars speeding by, people brushing past, loud conversations echoing from nearby cafes. You're talking about something casual, laughing about some inside joke. And then, without even thinking, you do something. You shift your position. You subtly place yourself between her and the street, walking on the outer edge, closer to the traffic. You didn't even think about it. No words, no explanation. You just did it. She notices. Oh, she notices. But she doesn't say a word. Inside her mind, something clicks. It's not the act itself. it's what it represents. Without even realizing it, you just tapped into her deep, unspoken need for security. The fantasy of being protected, shielded, watched over. Here's the part most men completely miss. Women don't just desire men who can protect them. They crave men who naturally step into that role, without asking for permission, without making a scene, and without expecting a reward. It's not about showing off. It's about instinct. Subtle action. Imagine this. You're walking into a crowded party. It's packed. Music thumps through the walls. She hesitates at the doorway, slightly overwhelmed. Without thinking, you gently guide her forward with your hand on her back, steering her toward the quieter side of the room. It's not forceful. It's not possessive. It's protective. To you, it's nothing. But to her, that moment lingers. In her mind. You're no longer just the guy she's talking to. You're the guy she could lean on. Her subconscious doesn't care about your job title or your six-pack abs right now. It cares about how safe she feels near you. And here's the twist. It's not just about physical protection. Emotional protection counts too. The way you diffuse tense situations. How you keep calm under pressure. The way you take ownership without blame shifting. She notices these moments. They pile up one after another, forming the story she tells herself about you. You're not just the fun guy. You're the safe place, the harbor, the rock. And this taps into her long-term fantasies more than any cheesy pickup line ever could. So here's your next move. Simple, subtle, and powerful. The next time you're walking beside her, position yourself on the side nearest traffic or obstacles. Don't make a show of it. Don't call attention to it. Just do it. Watch her body language closely. Does she relax just a little more? Does her tone soften? Does she unconsciously lean toward you? That's the protector instinct at work. And once you see it in action, you'll realize you've been walking past these moments your whole life without ever noticing the doors they could open. Now you'll start seeing them everywhere. And every step you take will feel different from here on out. There's something most guys are terrified to show. And ironically, it's the very thing that can unlock her deepest emotional fantasies. Vulnerability, but not the cliché kind. Not dumping your problems on her. Not oversharing in hopes of sympathy. No, it's something far more precise. Selective vulnerability. The art of showing the cracks, but only the ones that reveal your strength. Imagine this moment. It's late. The city outside is quiet, and you're sitting together. Maybe on a balcony, maybe in a dimly lit living room. The conversation drifts from playful banter to something heavier. She asks about your childhood. Most guys dodge it, keep it light. But you pause. You let the silence stretch. Then, you begin to speak. You tell her about how, growing up, you were always the quiet kid. The one who stayed in his room, afraid to speak up. You admit that there was a time you felt invisible. That you hated how easily others seemed to belong, while you struggled just to feel noticed. But then, you shift. You explain how you fought. Through it, how it taught you to read people, to listen more deeply, to grow your confidence from the inside out, instead of chasing validation from the outside. You aren't bragging. You aren't playing the victim. You're simply sharing the honest, unpolished version of yourself, but with a thread of self-awareness and growth woven through it. In that moment, you're doing something most men never dare to do. You're showing her the parts of yourself that aren't perfect, but also showing her the strength you built from them. And here's what's happening inside her mind. She's imagining what it would feel like to be the person you open up to. She's picturing the emotional closeness, the intimacy, the late-night talks where you let her into that hidden world. And whether she realizes it or not, she's slipping into the fantasy of emotional connection, the kind of bond that feels rare, magnetic, Impossible to fake. See, women aren't drawn to men who are always strong. They're drawn to men who are strong because they face their shadows. Men who can reveal vulnerability without crumbling. Men who don't need saving but aren't afraid to show where they've been hurt. Most guys, they hide everything. They think being stoic means being closed off. But you know better now. Next time the moment feels right. Maybe during a quiet conversation. Maybe after sharing a laugh. Let yourself go there. Share a story about something that challenged you. Not to impress her. Not to gain sympathy. But simply to connect. And when you do, watch her eyes. Watch how her guard lowers. Watch how she leans in, just a little closer. That's the fantasy. Unfolding. You've just shown her that you're not like the others. And trust me, she'll remember it. There's a certain type of guy she can't stop thinking about. Not the loudest, not the smoothest, but the one who constantly keeps her guessing. The man who blends playful teasing with unexpected sincerity. The man who makes her laugh and then makes her pause, wondering, wait, did he really just say that? This is the unpredictable confidence edge. And it's far more powerful than you realize. Picture this. You're sitting across from her at a cafe. The light is soft, and there's this natural, easy rhythm between you. She's telling a story, something about her friends or some ridiculous TikTok trend, and you're smiling, listening. But then, you tilt your head slightly and say, with a playful smirk, "Wow, so you're the troublemaker of the group, huh?" "I should have guessed." She laughs, playfully hitting your arm. She tries to defend herself, but you just lean back. Teasing her again. No, it's obvious now. You've got that look. Mischief behind those innocent eyes. She's laughing now, fully engaged, but here's where most guys stop. They stay in that playful zone, afraid to shift gears. But you let the moment linger for just a beat. Then, with steady eye contact and a slight softening of your tone, you say, "But honestly, I can tell you're the kind of person who's always looking out for the people you care about." It's rare. Boom. Silence. In that instant, the entire vibe shifts. Her laughter fades, replaced by something deeper, something warmer. You've just flipped the emotional script on her. This is the unpredictable confidence edge in action. It's the art of weaving playfulness and sincerity together so seamlessly that she never quite knows what's coming next. It's exciting, magnetic, addictive, because here's the truth. Women crave emotional adventure just as much as they crave physical chemistry. They want to feel the thrill of unpredictability, but with a foundation of trust underneath it. Most guys either try too hard to be the nice guy, always agreeable, always safe, or they swing too far in the other direction, acting cocky and detached. Both extremes are predictable. Both are boring. But when you master this blend, teasing her one moment, then catching her off guard with a sincere, grounded compliment, you become the emotional roller coaster she can't stop riding. And here's the simplest way to practice it. The next time you're flirting with a woman, don't just stay in one mode. Tease her, yes. Playfully challenge her. But then, out of nowhere, drop in a compliment that speaks to her character. Not her looks, not her outfit, but something deeper you noticed about her behavior. Watch her reaction. You'll see it instantly. The way her expression softens. The way her voice drops. The way she suddenly starts leaning in, trying to decode you. That's the unpredictable confidence edge. Most men never even get close. But now, you're about to make it your signature move. There's a fantasy most men completely underestimate. It's not flashy. It's not loud. In fact, it's almost invisible at first glance. But once she notices it, she can't unsee it. It's the silent ambition effect. The quiet pull of a man who's driven, focused, and building something without needing to broadcast it. Let me show you how this plays out. Imagine She's scrolling through her feed late at night. She stumbles onto your profile. Nothing extravagant, just simple photos, a few candid moments. But then she sees something curious. A video of you sketching late at night. A casual shot of you fixing up an old motorcycle in your garage. A brief clip of you in a studio, headphones on, working on a project you've never mentioned. Her curiosity ignites. Wait, he does this too? And suddenly, her mind starts connecting dots. She remembers that night you left early, saying you had to work on something. She remembers how calm and centered you seemed when others were showing off. She remembers how you smiled to yourself during conversations about future goals, but never said much. That's when it clicks for her. You're not just passing time. You're quietly building something. And she didn't even notice at first. In her mind, this triggers one of the most powerful long-term fantasies, the fantasy of being with a man who has his own world. A man who doesn't need validation. A man who's walking his path with or without her. And here's the beautiful part. You didn't need to say a single word to spark this fantasy. You didn't need to boast or brag. You simply kept showing up for yourself, consistently, patiently, silently. Women instinctively respect a man who's focused on his purpose. Not the guy who's loud about his grind, but the one who lets his results speak for him. This creates a subtle tension. Because now, she wonders what else she doesn't know about you. She starts picturing herself beside you, in that world you've been quietly building. Here's your move. Stop announcing everything you're working on. Let her discover it on her own, or let it come up naturally in conversation. Share glimpses, not full stories. Keep your ambition quiet but visible. You'll notice it fast. The way her questions shift. The way she watches you differently. The way her curiosity deepens. That's the silent ambition effect. It doesn't shout. It doesn't need to. It simply draws her in. Without effort. And suddenly, you're not just the guy she's texting. You're the man she imagines standing beside. In every version of her future, some connections feel effortless, almost eerie. You meet her, start talking, and within minutes, it's like you've known each other forever. You finish each other's sentences. You laugh at the same moments. You lean in at the same time without even noticing. It feels like magic. But it isn't. It's called the subtle mirror play. And once you understand it, you'll see why certain women get hooked without even knowing why. Let's step inside this scene. You're sitting in a quiet coffee shop. It's mid-afternoon. Sunlight spilling through the windows. She's across from you, her fingers tracing the rim of her cup as she speaks. And without thinking, you start doing the same, mirroring her pace, her tone, even the slight tilt of her head. She shifts, her posture, and a moment later, so do you. At first, neither of you notices. It's unconscious. But then something clicks. The conversation deepens, time seems to blur. And suddenly, she's feeling something she can't quite explain. Comfort, familiarity, intimacy. That's the power of subtle mirroring. It's not about copying every little move she makes. That's obvious and unnatural. It's about aligning with her rhythm, her breathing, her energy, her emotional pace. When she leans in, you lean in. When her voice softens, you soften yours. When she becomes animated, you meet her energy. And here's what's happening under the surface. Her brain starts picking up on the harmony between you two. It feels familiar, safe, exciting. She starts to feel like you just get her without needing to explain herself. And that sense of clicking isn't accidental. It's biology. This taps straight into her emotional fantasy of connection, of being seen, understood, mirrored, not just physically, but emotionally. Now, most men miss this entirely. They sit stiff, trying to think of the next clever thing to say. They stay locked inside their own heads, analyzing every word. But you're different. Next time you're in a conversation with her, I want you to try something. Subtly match her speaking rhythm. If she's relaxed, slow down your pace. If she's excited, let your energy rise to meet hers. Mirror her posture, not perfectly, just loosely. Let it feel natural. Then, after a few minutes, shift slightly. Adjust your posture or lean back, just enough to break the pattern. Here's the magic moment. Watch if she follows your lead. If she adjusts with you, congratulations. She's unconsciously syncing with you now. That's when you know you've unlocked something deeper. The fantasy of emotional harmony. The unspoken feeling of we just click. It's subtle. It's invisible to the outside world, but to her, it feels like fate. And the more you master this, the more you'll see just how easily you can guide the rhythm between you, from playful banter to deep connection, without ever forcing it. This is one of those rare skills most men never even learn exists. But you just started playing with it. Every story has an ending. Every moment, no matter how electric, eventually fades in the memory. But here's something most men never realize. The way you end an interaction can linger in her mind, far longer than anything you said or did while you were together. This is the unspoken goodbye fantasy. And once you understand it, you'll never leave a moment the same way again. Picture this scene. It's late. The party's winding down. The music's softer now. The crowd is thinned out, and you've been talking with her all night. There's this warm, buzzing energy between you, the kind that makes everything outside. The two of you feel like background noise, but now it's time to go. Most guys fumble here. They linger too long, hoping for just one more laugh, one more spark. They drag out the goodbye, afraid to leave first, afraid to break the moment. And in doing so, they smother it. But you do something different. You lean in just slightly, holding her gaze with calm, steady eyes. You let a small, knowing smile curl at the corner of your mouth, the kind that says everything without a single word. You pause, letting the silence stretch just enough to make her wonder what you're thinking. Then, in a voice that's quiet but certain, you say, "I should go, but I'm glad we talked tonight." You hold her gaze for just one more heartbeat, steady, unhurried. Then, you turn to leave. No hesitation, no glancing back, no checking your phone to break the tension. You simply walk away. And right there, in that lingering space you left behind, her mind goes wild. She replays the moment over and over. The look in your eyes, the calm in your voice, the way you left her hanging in the best possible way. Curious, intrigued, wanting more. That's the goodbye fantasy. It's the psychological craving for something unfinished, something unresolved. The part of her that aches for closure, but secretly loves being left in suspense. This moment plants a seed in her mind. A seed that grows every time she thinks of you. Because now, you're not just the guy she met at that party. You're the guy who knew exactly when to leave, leaving her wondering what could have happened if you stayed just a little longer. Most men never understand this power. They chase the moment until it crumbles. They try to control the outcome instead of mastering the art of letting go at the peak. But you're different now. Here's your move. The next time you feel the energy peaking between you and a woman, when the laughter is flowing, the eye contact is locked, and everything feels electric, don't overstay. Instead, lean in, hold her gaze, and leave on your terms. Calm, confident, certain. Then watch what happens. You'll see it in her eyes, that flicker of surprise, of curiosity, of longing. And later, you'll feel it in the way she texts you first, the way she finds excuses to see you again, the way she can't quite stop wondering about you. That's the goodbye fantasy. And once you master it, you'll never leave a room the same way again. Now that you've been through this entire journey, Here's a reminder of the 6 hidden ways you tap into her long-term fantasies. The hidden fantasy switch. Those lingering eye contact moments that spark a quiet fire. The protector instinct. Those subtle moves that make her feel safe without a word. The mystery of selective vulnerability. The rare moments where you share your scars and your growth. The unpredictable confidence edge. The playful teasing mixed with unexpected, sincere praise that keeps her guessing. The silent ambition effect. The quiet pursuit of your goals that she discovers on her own. The subtle mirror. Play, syncing your rhythm and energy until it feels like fate. And finally, the unspoken goodbye fantasy, leaving her wanting more by ending on your terms. At the perfect emotional high point. Screenshot this list. Watch this video again if you need to. Because these aren't just tactics. They're keys. Keys to unlocking parts of her mind most men will never even see. And now, you hold them.